Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Travel Like a Local. Today, talking about Singapore, and a small city in Asia, but also amazing one. Please introduce yourself and tell me what you do here.
I am based in tiny sunny island, Singapore. I am born and bred Singaporean. And I think, you asked for languages in your previous videos. And, in Singapore, actually, we use English mainly in school. But because we are also multiracial and multicultural, so like, for example, myself, I am a Singaporean Chinese. So I learn Mandarin. And then, the Malays will learn Malayu, then the Indians will learn Tamil. So, yeah.
Wow. Usually, I try to say good morning or good afternoon in the local language, but sorry if with you I need to do an exception. I think Chinese is beyond my highest dreams, so I don't want to try it because I may say something which is not convenient. So let's leave it with good morning or good afternoon if you don't mind, because
Yeah, sure.
otherwise it will be really problematic for me. So let's start with the pictures you shared with me, which are really nice. And well, first one, it's
Yes.
a
So this is the favorite part of Singapore for me is the Marina Bay. And the whole bay itself, you can have different views from different sides. So this one, we are overlooking to the MBS and the Ferris wheel and the Art Science Museum during the evening time. And
what
then, yeah.
what is MBS? Sorry.
MBS is Marina Bay Sands Hotel. So these three towers that you see is actually the hotel itself. And on the top is a boat-like architecture where there are a lot of rooftop activities going on. So a lot of restaurants are there. That's also where we have the infinity pool that overlooks from MBS to the other side of Singapore.
So it's a hotel. I can imagine it's not exactly the cheapest one in the city.
No, actually, so the fun fact about MBS is that it's a non-start hotel because they refuse to be categorized under any stars. And so they can have any facilities or any restaurants within the hotel itself.
So they are totally free and flexible, don't need to be sticking to any rule or whatever. They do exactly the way they want. Oh, it's a
Yeah.
different approach and certainly nice one.
Yes. So these are some other places that you can see Marina Bay Sands. This is Kinki Rooftop Bar, which is one of the shorter buildings opposite the Marina Bay. And a lot of nice rooftop bars around. So, yeah. And this itself is from Marina Bay itself at the boat-shaped building, the boat-shaped area. So this is towards the end, and the view that you can see from the restaurant itself, it's the Sky Bar.
It's impressive. Impressive the point of view that you have for seeing probably all the city from this place.
Yes, yeah. And actually, the night views are amazing.
Is this
because with
one
all
of
the
those?
lights. Yeah, so this is another perspective where I am at level 33, which is actually the highest, the world highest urban microbrewery. And they have an outdoor area where you can overlook the Marina Bay, not from either side, but from the right side or the left side, depending on where you are. So yes, so this is where you can see a different perspective. And like I mentioned, it's a microbrewery, so they do their own, they make their own beers, and then you can have a taster for all different kinds.
For someone who is living in Germany, having a brewery in this high looks like a must-visit place in Singapore.
I think it's really unique, and the view is amazing.
Yeah. Both things. I mean, handmade brewery and also the views are amazing.
Yeah. And this is actually behind the MBS. So the previous photos are all in around the Marina Bay. So this one is behind the hotel. That's where we have the flower domes, the super tree, and also we get to see the sea beyond Singapore. And of course the night view, because I really like how the lights, are designed during the nighttime for everything in Singapore.
Me too.
Yeah. So this is the super tree. It's kind of inspired by the movie Avatar, but it's like a urban, tree which is not really alive, but just architectural. But of course, they have creepers along it. So
I see.
and and actually around this super tree, there are some activities going on, and one of it is the Garden Rhapsody, where you can actually lay on the floor or sit around the super tree at night, and then they play musicals where they will actually coordinate the lights and the music together. Yes, exactly like this one.
Is this the picture you was talking? Indeed, I can see the speakers. So it's a music festival with this light spectacle and the music's around you and wow.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's free.
So it's free for going. You
It's
don't need to
free,
pay.
and it's almost on every day. So that is the beauty about the super tree area.
Amazing. I can imagine that the teenagers and not so young people are visiting this place really, really oftenly.
Yeah, because they also change the music and like different seasons, they have different kind of musicals going on. So yeah.
Do they also live music here, or also only DJs?
What's that?
If they are also here in this picture, if they are a live performance.
No,
only
not live.
only DJs. Let's say.
Yeah, only the speakers. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And this is just the other parts of Gardens by the Bay. So the flower dome and the super trees, that whole area is called Gardens by the Bay. So you can also do recreational activities such as jogging, walking along the park and admire the views. This is where you can see the super tree and the Ferris wheel as well.
Yeah, indeed. At the end of the picture in the center, there are the 3 super trees.
Yeah. And nearby is the Marina Barrage. So this is one of the rooftop area where a lot of Singaporeans go there for picnics or flying kites. So during the weekends, there is usually a lot of people there with the dogs, flying kites, having picnics. There are also people who cycle around the area because it's connected all the way to MBS as well. So
is it allowed to go with the bicycle to the roof?
That I am actually not sure.
No, because look, even walking at some moment looks slightly dangerous, but with a bicycle, I feel that someone may fall down easily or create an accident, and the people will be fall into the water in the base case.
So actually, from the ground level, there is an elevator that also brings you up. So you don't necessarily have to walk all the sideways, which you can. That's an option. But I don't know if we can go up with the bicycle because I usually ride in the evening, and they actually close off the area for you to go up to the roof. So
in order to avoid the people without too much light or with enough light or with too much maybe alcohol or something go and fall down.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a small swimming pool in the middle, or what is it?
No, it's just like a water feature. Little tiny small water fountains and lights that's going on. Yeah. So this is what I'm saying, where people are there for picnics and we fly kites.
This is the roof of the previous building.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I remember that I went with my friends before, Then there are a lot of people with dogs as well. And when it gets too hot, we can go down to the ground level where there's shade, and we just continue.
Because it looks bigger when you're in the floor. I mean, from the picture on the air, it looked smaller, but certainly is really big.
Yeah. It's spacious. It's spacious.
Yeah. I see.
Yeah. So that's the pool that you were saying.
I
It's a
understand
water
now.
fountain, yeah.
It was not a swimming pool, but a fountain or something.
Yes. Yeah. And the next one would be the Fort Canning Park. So the thing about Singapore is that it's a tiny island, and we have very beautiful architectures, but we also have a lot of natures within the city. So Fort Canning Park itself is an iconic hilltop landmark, almost in the middle or a bit more southern of Singapore, in the middle of the city, just out of nowhere. There's this hill, and it's actually a very iconic place because that's where the Malaysians actually surrendered us to the Japanese in 1942. So like really long time ago. And today, this Fort Canning Park has been structured in such a way that there are 9 gardens going on that is showing different parts of the history. And the ones that I really like would be the following photos, which is the Raffles Garden and also the Sangnila Utama Garden. So can move to the... Yes, so this is the Raffles Garden. Actually, you see like a pathway all the way down, and it's the colonial building, which because we were also being colonized by the British before. So there are a lot of influences around Singapore with all the history that we had. And then the next photo would be Sangnila Utama Garden, where it actually looks very Balinese, because actually Sangnila Utama is the founder of this tiny island, and he is from Indonesia. So I guess that's why there is this influence of Indonesian name and the structure that is there. So there are a lot of people who take photo. Yeah, this is also the spiral up staircase at Fort Canning, which a lot of these are like Instagrammable spots within Fort Canning Park itself.
Look like many people is going to take pictures there for doing a selfie or whatever and saying, hey, I was in Singapore.
Yeah. And this one is the Green Corridor. So it is called the Green Corridor because it's surrounded by a lot of greenery, and it actually used to be part of the Malaysia's KTM railway that connects Singapore and Malaysia. So this had the rails has been stopped for about 11 years, and it has been conserved as a trekking area for us, where we can check out the remnants of the railway tracks and explore the nature that is around it.
So the railway has been removed, and now you can walk, cycling, or whatever. Really interesting.
Yeah. So this is one of the railway tracks that is still maintained on site, where it's also another very popular photo spot for people who are doing the trekkings.
Amazing. And
then this would be at the west side of Singapore, which is Sungei Buloh Wetland Reserve. So this is the bird's eye view of the prettiest part. But over at Sungei Buloh, it is actually the first Singapore ASEAN Heritage Park. So over there are a lot of biodiversity. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yeah. And then we have mangroves, we have crocodiles, we have lizard monitors, we have a lot of birds there, and mudflats, ponds, and forests. So over there, actually, you can overlook to Malaysia. Yeah. So it's just a little, swim away if you want to go to Malaysia.
Mm-hmm. So if you cross just this, you are in the different country.
Exactly. Yes. I remember when I was there, I told my friend I didn't bring my passport with me. So that's as much as we can do. This is like, yeah.
No, please continue.
No. Yeah, that's the mangroves. And then this is the crocodile. It's of course not usual, which is why a lot of people are taken aback and taking a photo from afar. And it went on news. So
it's not exactly an animal that you would like to meet when you are doing a walk.
Or would like to touch.
No, well, this is even less. It was not even in the discussion. Of course, if you don't want to meet him, neither you want to touch it. It's not a kitten.
Yeah. And then there is also monitor lizards, which then that is pretty common. In a lot of parks, usually they will just, crawl around, crossing the path.
Lizards are neither nice.
But probably less threatening than a crocodile.
Yeah, probably less, but I know that they can be really aggressive. As far as I have been reading, maybe I'm wrong, but I've been reading that they are maybe cute, but they are not exactly, once again, like pets.
I don't think they are cute to me. So. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then this would be a heritage area in Singapore, which is the Haji Lane, which is next to Kampong Glam. So Haji Lane to me is a very hipster area in Singapore where a lot of graffitis, a lot of art are going on. So for example, this is one of the shop houses. I don't even know if it's really juice or it's alcoholic, but it's just the whole colors and vibe around this area, which is very attractive to people. And also within this area, there are bars, there are also restaurants or dessert shops, and a lot of graffiti. So, sorry, because we can move, Yeah, so this is actually a Mexican restaurant. But Singapore is like it's so multicultural that we have a lot of food from the whole world. I don't think that there is actually a kind of cuisine that doesn't exist in Singapore. So, all these graffitis and designs is the key of Haji Lane. And this is one of my favorite bar in Haji Lane where they do live music. And usually the musicians are up and coming, or they're just trying, it could be even students who are earning extra bucks for tuition, and they just play here. And it's very chill. So actually this is supposed to be like a road, but during the evenings, they close up the main entrances. So the chairs and the tables are out on the road. And people will just hang out there, listen to the music.
I see the people. Looks like the musician is asking for a tip for the music she's playing, which is certainly nice.
Yeah,
very nice. Which is, the fact that that it's allowed to do the live music in the street is certainly very nice. Because at least for me, in a city when this is allowed, is something that enrich the mood and also the environment of the city. Not only listening to the cars and
but usually these musicians are with the bar.
Yeah. But in any case, this woman is in the street and she is not getting a fine or whatever. So it's certainly nice.
Yeah. And then we go to Joo Chiat area. So the building that you see right now is actually Peranakan shop houses, which is also preserved in Singapore because of the colors and the tiles. So Peranakan is refers to Straits-born Chinese. So there are former Straits settlements from Singapore, Penang, and Malacca, and usually it is an infused culture of the British as well. So there are some influences with the Asian and the colonial British. And the signature for Peranakan houses are the tiles, which are regarded as an emblem of wealth and influence. And because of how the details and the design of the tiles are, it's actually became a signature for Peranakan. So as you can see, a lot of florals. So this looks like a pair of wings. No, this looks like a pair of wings. And then in the next photo, looks like a pair of wings. But actually on the side, you can see there are a lot of tiles. Mm-hmm. So that is kind of the tiles of Peranakan, which is usually made up of fruits, flowers, fishes, or birds. Usually more auspicious creatures, but it can get a bit more creative as we modernize. So yeah.
This is looking like another place for taking pictures, like the woman who's in this one. Many selfies down here.
Yes, yeah. And this is also another part of Singapore with a lot of murals on the walls along the streets.
Which is something that has impressed me a lot with the pictures that you shared, is exactly this. There are many houses with graffitis, let's name it like that, graffitis or murals or whatever, but, which is at the end giving more art to the city. So you have music on one side, pictures on the other. Certainly is a really cultural city. I really love it. Oh,
favorite part of Singapore.
another interesting area. Let's talk about food.
Let's talk about food. So as I mentioned, Singapore is multicultural, so we have a lot of food. And as we mentioned before, I think half of my presentation is food items. So with Peranakan, which we just ended earlier, a few photos before, is their food has this unique combination of spices, coconut, pandan, and chili. It's also very infused with Malay food, except that with Peranakan we actually have pork items. So because the Muslim cannot have pork, but then the Peranakan dishes usually have. So this one is one of my favorite, which is beef rendang. It has lemongrass. It's kind of like a stewed beef, and it's spicy based with it's the background there is turmeric, ginger, garlic, and all. And then there are other food items such as the laksa, which is a noodle soup base. So the soup base is interesting because it is made up of coconut milk and shrimp and some other spices. And the unique part about eating laksa is even though it's noodles, and Chinese with noodles, right? We always use the chopsticks. But with laksa, it's always with the spoon because they will snip up the noodles into small pieces. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you for something because, I know that like in Mexico, usually in Asia, you like spicy food. So let's say that when you show me one dish, let's name it like one is mild, two is like really hot, and three is like take it at your own risk. Let's name it so. This way, when someone goes to Singapore and try this, because maybe it looks beautiful, like me, and really look it and then say, okay, it's just fantastic, but maybe I try put one of these noodles in my tongue, and then it starts burning.
Okay.
like a volcano. So let's lay. This one will be 1, 2, or 3.
Okay, it's a bit difficult because I take spicy a lot. Usually, when I say it's not spicy, it's still pretty spicy to people who don't take spicy.
So
So to me, laksa is probably at 0.5.
okay, let's name it 1 then.
Yeah.
It's a 1.
Yeah. But the good news for people who love spicy food is they come with more chili if you need it.
Oh yeah, so they can just convert it into a 2 or even a 3.
Exactly.
Let's leave it with a 1.
Yes, let's leave it with a 1. Now, this is definitely 0. Okay, these are desserts in the Peranakan culture, which we call kuehs. And they are mostly made up of glutinous rice flour, coconut shreds, sugar, which is not really sugar. It's actually gula melaka, which is palm sugar. So it's not white color. It's usually just brown, non-refined, and it's healthier. And a lot of pandan is also used in Peranakan food, which is a fragrance leaf that adds color and the fragrance into the food and into desserts. So for Peranakan desserts like this ones, they are a mixture of savory and sweet. They're either baked or they're steamed. So very, very interesting way of desserts, because usually what we have is sugars, cakes, cookies,
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah. And now we go into the very versatile food of Singapore, where how I would describe is a lot of food in Singapore can be eaten any time of the day. So, like for example, this is toast with soft-boiled eggs and coffee or tea, which usually is a typical breakfast item, but it is so common nowadays that it can also be dinner if you want. Yeah,
Looks delicious. Delicious.
Yeah. So what happens is the toast is kind of a signature, I would say, because it is one slice of bread and they half it, toast it, and then they put this jam which is called kaya, which is made of pandan, and then they have this like one slab of butter, which adds to the savory part. And you can either eat it on its own, or you can dip it into the soft boiled egg, or you can just drink the soft boiled egg before you start with the toast. So it's a lot of philosophy with eating this toast.
I see.
And then this is rice noodle. It's an Indian breakfast dish. So it's steamed noodle with sugar that is on the side. It's called putu mayam. It's one of my favorite childhood. Because sugar is like kids' favorite, right? So, and it's easily accessible at the hawker centers. And roti prata. So it is basically flour that has been, stretched. It's like pizza, but really thin, hand fried, and then served with curry.
1, 2, or 3?
The curry can be 1, 2, or 3. No, usually about 1. Usually about 1 maximum.
Okay.
And for kids friendly or people who don't take spicy, it can be served with sugar as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is nasi lemak, which is a Malay dish as well, typically for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's really, really flexible. What happens is the rice itself is cooked with coconut and pandan. So the rice already is very fragrant, and then typically served with roasted peanuts, ikan bilis, which is like little fishes, the chili, the sambal chili, which 1, 2, and then eggs, cucumbers, and either with kuning fish or chicken wings. So yeah, and teh tarik, basically it's pulled milk tea. So you see the man's action is actually he's pulling the tea, and he pulls it. The more he pulls and the longer he pulls, the tea is supposed to taste better.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is Chü Gui, which is Chinese. It is steamed flour with turnip, pickled turnip. So it's more savory and pretty oily. Most of the time, breakfast only.
Okay, not spicy.
It's on the side. So this is our Asian version of carrot cake. So instead of a dessert, it is a main course or a side dish. Basically, they have carrots, flour, they steam it. Then after they steam it into a pan, they cut the carrot cake pan, and they will pan fry it with egg and radish. And then the unique part is there is two versions. You can either have it white, which is the one that is more on the left, or black, which is the one on the right, where they just add dark sauce. So the black color version is a bit sweeter than the white version. And everything can be with or without chili.
Which number?
It's up to you.
Okay, so it can go from 0 to 3.
Yeah, you just tell the hawker cook how much you want.
Okay.
Yeah. And oyster omelette. So I'm pretty sure this is inspired from Taiwan, but improvised. So it's actually just egg with corn flour as the base and with fresh oysters. Yeah.
And the red sausage?
The
Which number?
what?
You know, there is some red sausage.
Well, okay, so the chili is usually by the side, like you see on the saucer, right? One, yeah, not more than one.
Okay, number 1. To be honest, I feel that you're fooling me.
Why? Okay,
Yeah,
but what is your tolerance?
Because you're telling me everything is 1, and I guess that when I try it, I will start burning because you are used to it, and then everything is 1, everything is really soft, but probably will not be the case. Really careful. The one who is watching this video, this woman has a leather tongue, which is able to manage with everything.
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Just to be sure about this.
No. So the trick is perhaps you come over and let me know, and then we will have a first meal together, and I'll start telling you the correct scale.
Okay. We can do a scaling.
Yes.
What if I die? This is the 3, right?
No, impossible.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is prawn noodles. So there are 2 kinds of prawn noodles in Singapore. One is the dry version, which is this one, and the next one, which is the soup version. So the only difference is the broth. It has been soaked into the noodles or not, but the other ingredients are pretty much the same. And again, chili on your own,
So chili is on the side.
Yes.
You can select go from 0 to whichever.
Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly. Yes.
That's really fine.
Yeah. So this is the soup version. And I think that there's something that I want to say as well, which is in Singapore, we can get food that are really, really economical, or it can be as fancy as a Michelin star or, a celebrity chef restaurant. So all this food that I have been showing you are easily accessible from the hawker centers. So hawker centers are like open areas. It's not even cafes or food court. They do not have AC. They don't have servers or waiters. It's very self-service. and the food can range from say €2 to 4 or 5 euros, and it's a proper full meal, like all that you have seen. So that's a good part about Singapore, and
Is the
dangerous.
real food that the real people is eating?
Yeah, most of Singaporeans will eat at hawker centers or food court. Yes.
Understood.
And then we go to barbecue chicken wings, so there are these areas like the East Coast Lagoon, or if you have watched Crazy Rich Asian, they actually featured Newton Food Center. So at these areas, there are like maybe 40, 50 stalls selling different kind of stuff. And if you do hang out with friends, say in a group of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on COVID measures, you can order a variety of food and you just share. So usually at these food centers, what we do is, we will order the oyster omelette, the carrot cake, the dry prawn noodle, the chicken wings, and a few more of the photos later. We'll just have it all together and we just feast. And the thing is, it doesn't cost a bomb either. So that's the beauty.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
And also, because I imagine the pots with the orange or red sauce, which is behind, are certainly spicy. But what about the green one, which is at the beginning? Is this a vegetable, or what is this?
That's lime.
What?
Just lime. Lemons are
okay, okay, I understood. I understood. No, because I was... Okay, sorry, please continue.
No, because I was about to say with like barbecue stuff, it gets a bit oily. So with the lime, it kind of, makes it taste less oily and a bit more refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why.
No, I was wondering if it was something similar to wasabi or something which seems inoffensive at all, and then you try and then well, no. How it finished.
Oh, but with this chicken wings, the chili that you saw, probably a 2.
This is a 2.
Probably a 2, yeah.
Okay. Chicken wings is a no-go.
Yeah, you can do it without a chili.
Okay. But if I want to try it, then I need to be warned that it probably is a 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this is satays, which is a skewered meat, and they will barbecue it. And well, to me, besides the meat itself, the highlight would be the sauce, which is like a peanut spicy sauce. Not too spicy, 0.5. Well, 1 in your case, because it's usually a bit more sweet and spicy. And the really authentic ones usually have pineapple inside, which gives it a bit more tangy taste as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And mee goreng, typically a Malay dish. It's just fried noodles with seafood and vegetables. So, usually they try to be more inclusive, right? With your food chain, with your food pyramid. You have vegetables, you have carbs, you have protein, all in one dish. And
Number
yet
1.
still very affordable.
A 1.
Yeah. This one? Yeah, 1.
A 1.
Probably 1. Less than 1.
Less than 1.
Less than 1. Okay, this one is bak chor mee. So it's noodles with pork balls, soup. Very common, but there is this specific stalls in Singapore that you can queue for an hour for it because it is that good. So it all goes down to the broth. So in Singapore as well, there is this culture of queuing. So if you visit Singapore and you go to a food center or a food court, you're given like 10, 20 options of food items. No idea what to choose from because it's probably your first, and if you're a tourist, your last time there as well. you only have that one meal that you can spare, go to the stall with the longest queue. If you hate queuing, queue. Because it's probably the best stall in that area.
Understood.
That's
okay,
my tip.
So, okay, yeah, that's important to know. By the way, I'm looking at this picture. How do you eat this? You have the noodles on your hand and with the spoon. How do you match this? So you are taking some noodles in the mouth, biting them, and at the same time you take some soup, and what you do with the meatballs?
Okay, you don't do it all at one go. That's for sure. So you can pull some noodles, put on the spoon, and then you eat it.
Okay.
Or you can just slurp up the noodle, and the spoon is just for the soup and the pork bowl.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. By the way, what about this? 1?
It can be 0.
It can be 0.
It can be 0.
Okay, so just learning. Big Q and it's a 0. Okay, it's a place. A nice
can be
bowl.
0. Yes. And this is fish head curry. Basically, it's a form of curry. You like in Africa, you have a lot of different kinds of curry as well. But in Singapore, I would say one of the unique ones would be fish head curry. So because the fish's neck and cheek area has like the best meat to some people.
What are you supposed to do with this? I mean, do they expect I talk with it?
The rest of the body into other dishes.
Okay,
I think actually you have a point. That's perhaps why they started with this dish, because a lot of people only use the body, right? So they realize that there is actually a use for the head, and they make it into a curry.
At the beginning, when I saw the picture, I was seeing it and I didn't pay attention. But now I'm seeing that this is a head.
Yes.
And also it's ugly. I have to say it's ugly.
Yeah.
It has the teeth like.
Yeah.
And so it's spicy also, right?
Yes, curry usually are spicy. And I'm not sure if you know about this, but not me. I actually have never tried it, but there are people who loves eating the eyeball of the fishes. Yeah, because it's supposedly good for health with it lubricates your joints or something.
This is becoming too exotic for me.
Even for me.
I mean, this is going beyond the line. You have to say, eating the eyes of the fish. Receiving the head of a fish in a plate for talking with it is okay, but eating the eyes is too much. Too much.
Wait till we go to the next few photos.
I don't feel that this will not be exactly my first choice when I go to Singapore.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
No, not.
But travel like a local, right?
Yeah, of course. But it's spicy. It has an ugly head of a fish, and then I'm supposed to be eating its eyes. So no, it's too exotic.
The best part would be that I tell you to try the eyes, and then telling you after that actually I've never tried it before.
Yeah. Someone is telling you, oh, try it. And then they will ask you how it tastes because they didn't do it.
Exactly. Okay, so this is char kway teow. It's one of the dishes that was you can get it very easily in the olden days, because the ingredients are very, very basic. It's just yellow noodles, the flat noodles, dark sauce, and bean sprouts. And then, of course, as the years go by, we improvised it with like red wine sausage, fish cake, and cockles. But this dish is easy and yummy.
Okay.
Spicy level is also up to you.
Okay, but it looks this looks better. I mean, this looks like food.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. The other one just looking like a threat. It's like here you are. You bet you had better pay the rent, the bill when you finish eating. It's like
Okay,
a
so this
it's
is
like a
another one.
message.
It's like a message. Yeah. Yes. So this is another one which might be a bit more exotic, I guess. About even for Singaporeans, not everyone will like this, or not everyone likes tries this dish. So it's braised meat of the pig, but it's every part of the pig, including the skin, the intestine, the liver, the usual pork belly and things like that. But it's quite an acquired taste, I would say. But to me, I like it.
Well, I have to admit, for me, this will be
Exotic as well.
more affordable. Yes,
Okay, you will try this.
for sure. This
Okay.
one, yes. The other one, I have to say. Well,
The
also
other
depends
one,
on the number. Which number is this one?
this one can be zero. You can don't
Zero.
do it.
Then yes, this is definitely something I will try. The fish is not has many things against it.
You can don't eat the fish. There are people who eat filet o fish without the fillet.
I will prefer this one. I will say, hey, look, I eating like a local. You are not trying this. I'm doing it, but the fish is for you. Okay.
Yeah, so yes, correct. And then another one would be Bak Kut Teh. I realize a lot of pork dishes. Maybe it's just my preference, but it's because I like soupy stuff. So with Bak Kut Teh, there are two versions. So the Malaysians, they have the herbal version, and the Singapore has the peppery version. So of course, then I like the peppery version because it's spicy, and it's basically boiled with the ribs and flavored with a lot of spices in the soup. So it brings a very strong taste, but it's not too heavy. I don't know if this makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I understand perfectly.
Yeah. And the best part about Bak Kut Teh is that when you eat it at the restaurant itself, they serve it in this tiny bowls. It's like this one, like tiny bowls with two huge ribs that is bigger than the bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But the soup is refillable. So it's unlimited. So once you finish drinking, you can top it up. You top it up, because the best part of the soup is when you consume it hot. So yeah.
Okay.
Free flow soup. And this is what I was saying earlier. If you're with your friends and you go to like East Coast Park and you want to have a feast, so you can order a lot of different varieties and you just share with your friends to eat it.
And you are supposed to trying the different sauces that are tiny and at your own risk.
Yes, at your own risk. But this is actually one of the best ways to really try a lot of dishes without, feeling like you need a siesta right after every meal.
Yeah. You try this and it's like you never know. You try this one.
And if you don't like it,
let's see how it hits. If it's one or two, you can even bet with your friends who is the one who starts crying before.
Yeah.
This one.
Okay, so hot pot culture, I would say it's pretty strong in Singapore as well. We have a lot of steamboats. Like even for this photo, right? You already have 4 different soup bases. So it's really unlimited the kind of soup base you can have. You can have mushroom soup base, you can have chicken soup base, pork bone, mala, tomato. Or in the next 2 photos, we have one of the next one is the fish head steamboat. But it usually doesn't come. I mean, there's a choice. You can have it with the fish head or just the fish slices. And it's in a way a kind of steamboat because in the middle actually is burning charcoal. So it keeps the whole pot still warm and cooking. So when they first serve you this pot, the fish is not cooked yet, and you just have to wait for it to boil. And also for this one, soup are refillable.
So you have to wait talking with your friends and drinking something. Meanwhile, the fish is being cooked.
Yeah, but like 5 minutes.
Okay, so it's like it's not like fast food, but you want to relax, have the chat time. Some
yes.
Okay, it is a good idea for forcing people to interact, because at the end they need to wait for the food. Therefore, they need to talk with.
True. Yeah. And remember, we had laksa with Peranakan just now. So it can also be one of the soup bases for steamboat. So yeah, it's really unlimited what you can try with for steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
And then something that is also okay. So from here on is a bit more unique to Singapore that I think is for us. So this is a pond where a lot of people will pay, say, $10 an hour or $15 an hour to do prawning. So instead of fishing, you fish for prawns. And some of these places, they actually also provide the grill for you to grill the prawns on the spot and just eat them.
Mm-hmm. Understand. So at the end, you just take it completely fresh.
Yes.
And are they providing you also knives and things like that for for cleaning? Okay, I understood. Fantastic. Yes to know. Then okay, fantastic. And I don't know if we have more pictures. Oh yes,
we do. Okay, so this is the Singapore, one of the top few Singapore dishes when you come to Singapore. A lot of people will say what chicken rice, chili crab. So this is chili crab, and I would like to tell everybody who's coming to Singapore, if you want to try authentic chili crab, do not go to Jumbo Seafood or Long Beach. These are like big chains, very, very commercialized. And the chili crab sauce probably tastes like one.
mm-hmm.
And it's not good. So if you want to go for authentic chili crab, one of the favorite place of mine is Huai and is by far the best chili crab I've ever eaten. So it's crab with the sauce. It's called chili crab, but actually the sauce is tomato sauce with chili inside and egg. And
Fantastic.
the sauce is beautiful. And usually you dip it with that fried bun that is on the top of the photo, and you dip it with the sauce and you eat it. And it's amazing. Like for a lazy eater like myself, because I don't like to get my hands dirty, I would most likely still invest in dirtying my hands for chili crab. And this one is barbecue stingray. So one of the local specialties, which a lot of my friends who are not from Singapore, I will definitely bring them for this. Yeah. So stingray, probably 1 to 2, depending on the stall. But you can take away the chili because it's only at the top.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. You can remove it, and it simply becomes a 0. No, I don't believe you. Don't try. Don't try. Simply don't try.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last food item, which is yu sheng. So this is what we usually do in Singapore, and I think it's pretty much a Singapore thing only, because they don't do this in China at all. Where it is a platter of different kind of vegetables, and they all have their own significance to the dish, which usually signifies prosperity, fortune, good luck, and things like that. And it comes with a plate of salmon, smoked salmon, fresh salmon, sashimi salmon, and we will then toss it during Chinese New Year. So the higher you toss usually means the more fortune or prosperity you will get for the year. And yeah, so like this photo, we're just tossing and as high as you can go. And usually you don't end up with much of the vegetables left because they're all over the floor or on the table. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And now some practices in Singapore that you should know. We have this choke habit or choke culture, you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Choke as in reserving. So what happens is this is a typical food court that you see. And if you actually, it doesn't matter if you're alone or if you're with your friends, but all you want to do is to beat the crowd because you should go for the stalls that has the longest queue, right? And if your lunch hour is only 1 hour, you have to factor in queuing, eating, and all. You need to be very efficient. So usually, what we do is that we have tissue papers in the packet. In this case, you see umbrella as well. So what you do is you go into the food court, you find a table with empty seats, you put your belongings on the table, you head off to get your food, and that table should be empty when you come back with your food. So
it doesn't mean that someone forgot the paper or forgot the umbrella. It's reserving the table for eating.
Exactly, yes. So it's very common, right? For me to see foreigners or tourists when they come to Singapore and they go into hawker centers or food court, and then they see this table with tissue paper. Like it's easy to spot who are the tourists because you see that question mark above their head. They will be like, "Why is there a tissue paper?" Or they would just take the table, perhaps like what you think, someone left it behind or what's not. And then you have this person with the food in tray coming back and like, "Excuse me, this is my table." And then, a tourist would be like, "What do you mean? It was empty." Like, yeah, but my tissue paper was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And people got a bit creative into like lanyards, name cards, or the doctor's stethoscopes. I think the most absurd one would have been phones. Singapore is a safe city, people, but not that safe, yeah.
To be honest, when I saw the picture, this one with the medical stuff, I was wondering why. And I thought that it was just left it in case emergency or something that someone needs to be attended. Okay, we are leaving these things all around the restaurant just in case. And I mean, I didn't find any better reason for leaving all the stuff on the tables.
Okay, and the final one would be the drinking culture. So alcohol in Singapore is very expensive in general, but just like the food, you can have really expensive cocktail or wine, or you can have very affordable beers in the coffee shop. And also in Singapore, what happens is we call every elder our aunties or uncles. The whole nation is not related, but we call each other, no, not we call each other, we call the elders aunties and uncles, usually. So I think it's also pretty confusing to a lot of tourists when they first arrive, like auntie, uncle, like everyone is related or something, but they're not. It's just a form of respect. It's a form of respect that we
What are we family?
Yeah, exactly. So like if, for example, in this photo, then there are two uncles who are just having beers at a coffee shop, which is probably the simplest pleasure you can get in Singapore and the most economical version. So yeah.
Okay, fantastic. And this is the last picture, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we can go back to this one. And then I will ask you if there are some areas in Singapore which I should avoid because they are dangerous or because they have a mood which is probably not the best.
Okay, so I am very biased, I would say. Well, okay, I wouldn't say bias in this case. I would say that the west side of Singapore is very focused on production plants. So on that side of Singapore, there isn't a lot to see. So I would focus more on the central and the east area. Where else to avoid? I mean, in every city, there's always red light districts.
No, I'm just was wondering if if there is an area which could be dangerous for some reason, or something. But you are saying that if it's a safe city, you said before, probably there is no area with this problem.
Wait, let me think.
No. No issues, no issues. If you find something later, we can just put it on the description. So no worries. And the last question I would like to ask you: if I will bring a souvenir back from Singapore, what you should get? What should you suggest me?
Okay, there are a few things that I usually will bring back. I mean, I will bring for my friends overseas, a couple. So it also depends on the recipient. So food items, I will have kaya, which is the jam for the toast. And that's vegetarian, so that's easy. Pineapple tarts, which is one of the Chinese New Year goodie snacks. So it's sweet, who don't like sweet stuff, right? If your recipient takes meat, there's also this other item called bakwa, which is actually sliced barbecue pork, which is like beef jerky, but it's the Singapore version, and it's mostly pork, and it's a bit sweeter with marination and all. So that one, they have vacuum packed versions and your small packet versions, whatever version that you want. There's this other item, which is a flip chart. So in Singapore, we have this language called Singlish, where a lot of people have some words at the end of sentences or mixed into sentences from any other language. So I could be speaking 3 languages in one sentence to a fellow Singaporean, and they will completely understand me because that is Singlish. So we have the most common one would be la. It has absolutely no meaning to it, but it gives the sentence a expression. So it could be, why are you late? And then the person would be like, yeah, the traffic law, that kind of thing. So like there's this little expressions at the end of sentences. And there is actually this flip chart that kind of teaches you English. And it is customized into work scenarios. So for example, you can put one of the page is business trip. But at the bottom, there is this underlying sentence that says, if you say leisure, then leisure law. Because a lot of people will say they're going for business trip, but actually they're going with extended holidays or whatsoever. And you can't control what people say, right? So yeah, if you say leisure, then leisure law. So law is as well another expression that has no meaning to it. It's just, it adds to a mood to it. So yeah, this flip chart, yeah.
The souvenir will be like a dictionary.
A preview dictionary. Yeah.
Is how to talk like a local in Singapore. Okay, it's perfectly fine.
Okay, so for example, let's like have a normal conversation about. So Sasha, how are you doing today?
Well, until now, very well. Now I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
Fine.
Why you haven't eaten yet?
What? I guess yes or not. I don't know.
So ayah is like a kind of sign, like, oh damn, like why haven't you eaten yet? Kind of expression. But of course, it's maybe a little bit similar because it's similar to Mandarin where different tonations have a different meaning to it, but the word itself is still the same. So like, for example, I can tell you, wow, today the weather is so hot. Or wow,
And
today
then I would
just
say,
rain
aya,
nonstop. Yeah.
something, aya.
Yeah, better to stay at home, or go to the office because office got aircon, that kind of stuff. I think this is the most Singlish Amadeus colleagues in Singapore have heard me.
Okay, fantastic. We are going to create a web page also with the translations. How to say
Singlish.
this, how to say this, how to say this.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, well then at least for me is quite enough. I'm totally convinced. Both the places and both the food was amazing and certainly very fun interview. Really, thank you for your time. Thank you for showing us the city and hopefully we can meet face to face for really trying if it was a
Yes.
name, a number one, number two, or it was a three.
Yes. And thank you. Thank you for inviting me. So it was really interesting to put up this as well. Put this together.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.